of God says, at the same time came the disciples unto Jesus, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. I want to take a pause right there, okay? And here's Jesus, the profound Jesus, telling the disciples that if they want to be greatest or the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, they have to become as a little child. And I wanted to examine a few things that children do really well that line up with the Word of God that Jesus would have meant when he talked about this. The first thing that children do really well that as adults it wanes off and we give up and we create doubt and reason and fears is faith. I've raised children probably just like you have. When you promise a child, when I was younger, my father used to travel a lot. And when my father would travel, we would send him or take him to the airport. And I would ask my father, would you please wave at me when you pass right over the house? And I can tell you, the 8, 9, 10-year-old me used to actually see a hand waving from an airplane that's way up in the sky, 30,000 miles or whatever, how many miles that the plane is there. But that's the faith of a child. When you tell a child something, I'm going to do something, they don't ask themselves, do you have enough credit? Do you have credibility? Do you have the ability? They don't ask any of those questions. They take your word and they run with it. So the little me used to believe that I would see my father's hand on the window waving, and you couldn't tell me that he was not waving. I'm sure the adults around me would look at me and they would laugh and they would be like, poor child. I knew no better. I believed that I saw my dad waving and I would go to sleep with peace and a smile on my face. That's what children do, that as adults, we tend to ask ourselves, is this possible? What are the possibilities? What would keep this from happening? Especially when it comes to the word of God and the promises of God and the word of other people. We don't take anybody at face value. So here's Jesus